All right, so I was looking over YouTube and realized that I didn't have an intro video. I didn't have anything. I just started posting and I'm like, now people are engaged. I have 400 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. And if you haven't, please take this opportunity to subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. But I was like, no one knows who I am. And so I decided to do a quick video. I'm going to be mindful of the time, just a quick intro of who I am, and then how I make this channel, and then kind of what to expect from my channel. And so I am Jay Nichols. And so I decided to start the channel because I love YouTube. I love pretty much all social media platforms. And so I'm active on pretty much all of them. I have some type of account on them. It's very entertaining, informative. Before I started my lock journey, my previous locks, as well as these micro or sister locks, I use YouTube. Everybody goes to YouTube University for something, right? And so it took me a while to decide about my traditional locks that I had prior to this one, as well as my sister locks or micro locks or whatever you want to call them. I do not know what type of locks I have. I used to have the sister lock pattern, but I prefer just to retie. So the person who maintains my locks now, she just reties them and follow the natural, parting of them. And I prefer because, again, I have thin hair at the top of my head and it just looks better to me. It's what I prefer. So let's go back. How did I start my lock journey? So I had traditional locks for about 8 years. And so I had my son in 2021 and I started noticing some thinning. So thinning around here, and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? It wasn't a lot, and maybe I just didn't give it the opportunity to have a lot, but it was enough for me to notice it. And so I decided to cut them off. And they're actually in this bathroom in a bag. I cut them off. My son was probably about maybe 5-6 months old, and it was just not only the thinning, it was just during that time I was kind of overwhelmed, new mom, during COVID. I didn't know what I got myself into, and so I decided to just cut it off. I said it's one less thing I have to worry about. I am very conscious of my hair. I love to try to look presentable. I try to look put together and things like that. And so I wasn't able to maintain my locks anymore. My traditional locks, I maintained them. I got them started with a young lady in Morrisville, and she kind of disappeared on me. But the good thing is my sister had locks for a lot of years prior to me starting my lock journey, and so I just went in the bathroom and playing with my hair. I always played in my hair. I did cosmetology in high school. It was a part of our program. I did not finish it. But the point is that I've always had an interest in hair, and I love hair. I love styling hair. I love, I dye my own hair, and people are like, you do that? I'm like, why not? It's my hair. And so maintaining my traditional locks was fine. So fast forward, had my son, overwhelmed, little thinning, say, hey, forget it, let's cut it all off. Cut it all off to a little bitty fro. And I just kind of went from there. I have natural curly hair and soft textured hair, so a little bit of gel and water gave me natural curls. My hair was really like a little bitty fro. Then I went into like a shaved with, I'm gonna try to put some pictures in here. I'm not good with these videos yet, but I'm gonna try to put some pictures in it. Then I shaved all my hair off to with a design, and then I had like a little mohawk look and this, that, and the other. And then I was looking to micro locks or sister locks, and I was like, how is it gonna look? So I feel like that's why everybody is attracted to any kind of YouTuber who provides information or their experience on thin or low density hair, because that's what happened with me. I was on YouTube for hours and hours for months. Anybody that had low density thinning, just starting their micro locks or sister locks, I was following them. I was looking at their videos. I was going down the rabbit hole. I was subscribing because I wanted to know, like, how is it going? Like, before I make such a big investment, you can invest, $2,000 up front, right? And then $200 every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what your loctician recommends for your hair type. you could spend a lot of money and it's no need if you're not gonna like the outcome, right? And so I'm looking, and the unique thing about my hair is it's super thin here, and then I have somewhat a thick hair here. It's still a thinner texture and curly, but not as thin as this centerpiece here, right? And so I have a little bit of, you know, different type of thing working with me to have the thicker hair on the sides or whatever. Kind of wish it was, no, because that'd be hard to hide. So no, I don't want to say that. And so I kind of, once I looked at a couple videos, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Let's go, let's jump in. Thank God I have a sister-in-law that is, she does micro locks and sister locks or whatever. And so I talked to her and I trusted her. I was like, hey, look at my hair. Tell me what you think. I need you to focus right here, sis. Like, what does it look like? What do you think? And you know, what size, you know? And so we kind of had a conversation about it. I was kind of embarrassed because it's like, well, who wants to talk about thinning? Oh, I'm thinning, you know? People are like, oh, you have beautiful hair. And I want to say, except right here, you know? And so, and not that it's not beautiful, it's just not full, right? And so, that was kind of our conversation, and so we started them. I cannot remember the year I started my sister locks. I have to figure it out because I know it was December. Someone asked me in the comments, and I'm like, listen, with a top line, I just don't remember. But I told them 4 years, but that's not true because my son is 4. So my son is 4. And when I started them, I believe my son was like 1. So I believe that my locks are 3 years old. I started them December. But I'll look it up. I'll look it up and I'll put it in this video of how long I've had my locks. But I am very satisfied with my locks. I'm very satisfied with how they look, the maintenance of them, as well as the financial part of them, because that was a concern of mine, sorry. And I wanted to make sure that it was something that I could maintain financially as well, because that's a big part of, you know, sister locks or micro locks or whatever you want to get. You have to be able to properly maintain them, and that takes money, you know, unless you know how to do them yourself. I know a lot of people like following them and they can retie their hair. I'm like, girl, like good for you. I don't have the interest, the time, or the attention span to retie all of these. No. But anyway, so I started my lock journey. I was very nervous. They looked horrible. Like, and my loctician is like a robot. All her parts, I'm like, how do you even do that and be consistent? Because I just feel like you bound to mess up one part, sis. But no, her parts were perfect. But I didn't like how it looked. I looked like an animal, like a raccoon or something. My hair, I put the video, it's like one of my first videos I post. But I was like, I'm not gonna video this. I'm not gonna put this out. I was like, have me looking crazy in these streets. But I said, you know what? This is what people want. Like, people want this type of information. They want to know where you started and where you finished. They want to know, like, comparing, like, because this is what I did. I was comparing myself, like, okay, your hair kind of similar to mine. Okay, yours a little thin all over, sis. That's okay, but yours still look good. And it kind of gauge how mine will look. So I wanted to be a part of that resource for other people that were kind of considering the same journey. And so that's kind of how I started. I wasn't really gonna do much with it, but I looked at my video and I'm like, 24,000 people looked at this. I'm like, okay, you know. So I posted another one and people started asking questions. And so I now feel obligated, not that I don't want to do it, but I feel obligated to continue providing information, because I hate when people do this. I have some people that I subscribe to that I was following them and I'm like, where's another video? So it's like, come on, you cannot give me 4 good videos and then stop, you know? So you kind of sign up for it indirectly to make sure that you are consistently providing some type of resource once you have a subscriber. I think it's just your job or your obligation, you know, whether you are monetized or not, you should do that because you started something, kind of committed to it, and it's fun. It is fun. It's a lot of pressure if you have to post consistently, but for me at this point, I'm just gonna post how I, you know, as I can, you know, because I do have a whole toddler, okay? And if you have a toddler, you understand what's going on over here. And so I do want to welcome everybody to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. Again, if you haven't, please take the opportunity to. I will be posting more videos. I will be posting about my life because I decided to do that. I have such a crazy life, and not like in a bad way, just an interesting way, like how you know, I've had an interesting career path, you know. I tell people I sold shoes, I sold mattresses, you know. I mean, I worked in mental health in group homes. I worked in, you know, teenage pregnancy group homes. I still work in real estate. I work in the pharmaceutical industry, and I have stories from each one of those industries. I have great experiences from those different industries. Have great people. I have great friends that I have just adopted along the way as I took this journey. And so I have interesting stories. I'm pretty sure people want to know about me working on the psych ward with people with schizophrenia and schizoaffective, because I have a whole host of stories. And I loved every one of my jobs. I waited tables at Cracker Barrel for 4 years. So I have like this diverse background, and people like, what in the world? And to you know, now be in the pharmaceutical industry for 12, 13 years now. I enjoy it, and I do real estate on the side as well. And so it's like, how did you get here, girl? So I will be sharing little stories about that, and you know, my kid. I have a 4-year-old, Kingston, and so all these things I'll be sharing, along with my hair journey, along with how I style my hair, or like this little ponytail. This is my go-to. I pull out 2 little pieces right here. Okay, put my little ball in the top. We rocking and rolling. It was hot today. It was almost 90 degrees, and so stuff quick fast. That's another thing why I really love Sisterlocks. Like, you don't have to do much, sis. Like, you just, I mean, first of all, they fall, like, they grow like this, almost like in a layered effect, you know. I do know some people cut theirs into layers, so it depends on like how your hair grows. I've seen some people that is very blunt at the ends, and it's just how their hair grew. But mine kind of did this layering thing. I've never cut my locks or anything. I let it do what it's gonna do. That brings me to another point. Someone asked me, how did I start my lock, or how did my loctician start my locks? I had to ask her. I said, sis, how we start these locks? I'm telling you, I was a new mom. Mine was like, choo-choo. Okay, so we interlocked them from the roots to the tip. And it was because my hair is thin and a soft texture. So, and to ensure that they locked, she decided that was the best method to start my locks off. So I know a few people asked me this, okay? And so how I started my locks is my loctician interlocked them from the root to the end. Another thing people ask me, who started my locks? Who started my locks is Cece, or Creations by Sierra, Creations by Sierra. You can find her on Instagram, as well as TikTok, as well as Facebook. And she's in the Charlotte area, but she also takes clients in Raleigh-Durham area. Triad, you just have to work with her schedule, get on her books, reach out to her if you want her to start your lock. She is amazing. Them parts gonna be straight, sis, okay? And she's great to work with or whatever. And so a lot of people ask me that, so I did want to put that out there, that Sierra, Creations by Sierra, she started my locks, or I know her as Cece. And you can reach out to her on any of the social media platforms with that name, and get on her books if you're interested in starting your locks. And so that's it. I just wanted to do an introduction. I'm gonna break this up in a couple videos just because it is long, and I want to put in some pictures. But again, thank you so much for, you know, tuning in and giving me your time. I don't take it for granted that you wanted to log in and see what I was talking about today, and I appreciate you. And if you are interested in more content and anything like that, you could also leave a comment, and I'll, you know, try to make a video about it. Why not? Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I will talk to you later.